Welcome back, everybody, to the OPT Network. Our guest this morning is Misty Slayter. She is the Vice Chancellor of Workforce at CLTCC. Misty, good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having us on this morning.
Absolutely. We're happy to have you, especially in the midst of all of the disasters, COVID, and the uncertainties. CLTCC has come up with a plan to try to assist people. How did you guys get here?
Well, through the, I say, generosity, good fortune of the CARES Act, the governor set aside $10 million of that to retrain unemployed and underemployed citizens of Louisiana. And that is key because, Carlette, as you know, COVID has changed the way that we as consumers and families behave. Mm-hmm. And so there are so many individuals who have lost their jobs of their, obviously not of their own choosing, but because of that shift in behaviors. Mm-hmm. So this gives that individual an opportunity to seek out training. Any one of our 12 community colleges across the state of Louisiana, which is very powerful. We are a rural state, majority. So Central Louisiana Technical Community College has 8 campuses throughout Central Louisiana, and they are all ready to serve and step up and provide the short-term training that this money supports.
So people who are listening to our conversation this morning, Misty, are saying, yeah, that's me. I would like to get retrained, but I never thought I'd be at this position in my life. And so I'm a little bit apprehensive about starting over in something new. And then for others, this could be a godsend. But how do we help those people that are really saying, I didn't want to go back and have to retrain?
Yeah, and that's, I say, normal. It's understandable that you are maybe a bit reluctant if you've been in a certain career path for a while. But as I said before, I look on this as an opportunity for so many. And case in point, the average age of our community college student is around 27, 28 years old. And so I would say to the person who perhaps thinks that it's not a good fit for them because they're not in a place, maybe they're thinking I'm too old to go back, or I'm too old to retrain, or I'm too set in my career. It's not. It's not. We have students from 18 to 68. It's amazing the value of experience that people will bring with them to our college, even though they're students, that help us educate others. And so we welcome that addition. We think that, again, it's a great opportunity, but short term. So all the trainings for this Reboot Louisiana, Reboot Your Career, should be less than 12 weeks. And most of our trainings we're targeting at the 6 to 8 week mark so that individuals don't have to spend too much time in the classroom or in training, but they can get directly back to work and participating in the workforce.
And so what are some of those careers because that's reasonable, 6 to 8 weeks, 12 maybe maximum, when you think about it on that scale, it's a lot less than if you were going back for 2 years or for 4 years.
No, absolutely. In the times in which we live now, credentials, certifications are just paramount, and they're more measurable than perhaps a college degree, 4-year degree, or even a 2-year degree is. The key to this reboot is the credential. And so that tells an employer that, hey, I'm proficient in these areas. I've, mastered this, and, I can move on to the next step, and I'm willing to learn past that. So with Reboot, we feel like this gives an individual that might be in that $8 to $10 an hour profession, that they have an opportunity to seek out maybe a welding career, a career in machining as a manufacturing production technician, maybe an instrumentation or electrical technician. Careers that are key and vital and very much needed. Those workforce gaps in manufacturing and construction existed pre-COVID. And with COVID and the hurricane now, Laura and Delta, it seems, that's going to be even more magnified. That those trade skills that we often took for granted, maybe once upon a time, there's a generation that's retiring and just don't have the workforce to fill those gaps. And they're very lucrative careers. Gives people an opportunity to learn a trade, either to work for someone or to have their own business and, be an entrepreneur, own your own HVAC company or your construction company.
That's awesome.
Build homes. So, lots of opportunity.
And so for those jobs that you mentioned, for those people who might want to go out and seek those careers after getting the certification, what do they start? What's the starting pay approximately for welding?
For welders, starting, we usually say between 14 and 18 an hour. It just depends really on your certification, where you are in terms of, are you, in layman's terms, if you're a helper, top helper, beginning, journeyman level. And so where you are in your terms of your certification and proficiency in the trade will dictate what your salary is.
And I don't want to leave women out of that because the world is changing and the possibilities are endless. And those jobs are available for women just as well as they are for men.
Absolutely. And I can tell you that we actually this year, over the past 12 months, had the first females in our machining program at CLTCC, and we're very excited about that. We have one graduating in December, and also I think we have one or two maybe in I&E, and it's just amazing that these careers have not been opened up, by de facto or however to women, but women are seeking out these careers. They're very, highly skilled. It's not what it used to be. It's not your, father or your mother's industrial plan anymore. They're highly technological these days. Computer programming is key to operation, as well as understanding and coding for maintenance and troubleshooting for repairs. And so women, of course, it's, there's no reason, no boundary, no parameter why women can't engage in these careers too and make a lucrative income for themselves and their families.
Absolutely. So with that said, the $10 million that has been set aside to reboot, people are thinking, well, with everything going on, I don't have the extra money. I don't have, the wherewithal with everything that I'm juggling to look at school and what that will entail. How will the tuition be affected by the $10 million and what people will have to pay?
Well, depending on the program selected, the students have significantly reduced tuition. And so, for example, we have a short course in welding that's $12.95, plus whatever supplies they would need, welding hood, that type of thing, and a few other tools for that. So with the Reboot can cover up to $1,500 of those expenses. So essentially it would be tuition free for that student.
What about the allied health field? Somebody that's saying, I was looking maybe at doing something like that. The time and the opportunity never presented itself, but now might be the time.
Our CNA class, Certified Nurse Assistant class, is one that we're continuing this fall, so that will be open to Reboot. And in the spring, we're hoping to launch a phlebotomy and EKG tech class, as well as looking into a compressed pharmacist assistant or form tech, program. And so that is also, healthcare is another sector, healthcare and manufacturing, probably the two most, deficient sectors that we have in Louisiana in terms of workforce right now. And so those are two areas that we certainly are focusing on. And how do we bring people into those careers such that they can continue on the career path? And, when we say, come join us for a CNA class, a certified nursing assistant class, we don't want you to stop there. We want that to be the door that opens, for the allied health or healthcare sector career pathway for you. we don't want you to stop. We want you to keep going. And so we hope to lay out, I say, a solid pathway for individuals to take not only the CNA course, but then go on to take phlebotomy, EKG tech, or pharm tech series. So, we want to make sure that there are options past that initial training.
Mm-hmm. So these are stepping stones, in other words.
Absolutely. I mean, we all have to start somewhere. Mm-hmm. I didn't wake up or graduate college and become vice chancellor of a community college. You start somewhere. And we know that it is vital, that income is vital, the need for benefits are vital to people in our communities. We want them to be healthy and happy. And we want families to have time with each other, to not have to work 2 and 3 jobs to make it. And if we can get them started on a career path in one of these high demand, high wage fields, the sky's the limit, as they say, for them. And that's what we want for our community.
I'm glad you pointed that out, Misty, because we celebrate women and people, but especially women who attain positions like yours as the vice chancellor. And like you said, you didn't just start out as the vice chancellor, you had to go through the process. But we know that the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. And oftentimes getting started is really the most difficult thing for most people to do.
It is. I mean, it's very challenging. And I think I've said this on the show with you before. My sister and I were the first in our family to graduate from college. Mm-hmm. And so that's a huge step in I say, our next generation.
Right.
And, it's not just about graduating from college. It's about earning a skill set, being formally trained, and having a pathway. Mine happened to be education, and I'm very passionate about that. My son, however, his passion now is welding. He actually goes to CLTCC. He's still in high school. He's still enrolled, but he's enjoying it so much. And, his father and I both 4-year university graduates, but, he chose that path, right. And he's so excited about it. And I told him, I said, you're very smart actually to do that, because there's such a need right now, right, for craftsmen. That's the key, Carlette, is to find what you're passionate about, find what makes you happy, because your career is something you'll do for the rest of your life. And absolutely. So if you can find that, and we can help people in Central Louisiana find that through our programs, we fulfilled a huge piece of our mission.
Mm-hmm. You know what? It's been said by some great person that when you find your passion, you'll never work another day in your life. And so we were really excited when we heard about the $10 million program that was made possible by Governor Edwards. And what we're hoping that this conversation will do, it will invoke something in people, especially people who are not working, people for whatever reason in 2020 have said, I just can't find a job. Well, this is an opportunity.
Well, it is. And we're hoping that we gain more partnerships with business and industry so that we can make these some work-based learning opportunities that, hopefully will lead to jobs immediately after training. That of course is the ideal situation. But yes, I would encourage anyone to, call any one of our campuses. Like I said, we have 8 throughout Central Louisiana. You can go to our website, look for the Reboot in the banner. There's also it'll direct you to the registration page, and you can sign up, give us your information, and let us know which area of interest you have. And someone will be in contact with you so that we can explain some of the options that you have for training.
Before we've got to let you go, I don't want to leave the conversation without speaking to those people that say, Misty, what you're talking about and what the governor has prioritized as a reboot sounds really good, but I didn't graduate from high school.
Our Work Ready U program has been very successful. In fact, my Workforce Solutions team has worked closely with Mr. Jeff Johnson, who is our Work Ready U director. He oversees that program for our college. And we are finding ways to make a hybrid, if you will, course of people who are pursuing their high set to get their high school equivalency, and also train in these careers simultaneously. And we, give you an example. We had a couple that graduated from our commercial truck driving program last year and last spring, and they are now in the ballpark of a $50,000 to $60,000 per year job.
Wow.
Whereas before they were, at minimum wage. So, in 6 weeks that happened.
That gives me chills. That speaks to possibility, right?
Well, it does. It's a game changer of what you can do for your family, and provide for your family, the stability. It does give one chills. And like I said, I'm very passionate about it, always have been. And when you have education and you have will, nothing can stop you. And we're just a part of that. We're part of that journey to help you get there.
Absolutely. CLTCC is making all of the communities that you serve better. Misty, thank you for taking the time. Thank you for your heart and the team, from Jimmy Sawtell to Heather Poole and the incredible team that you guys have that are really, really passionate about making Central Louisiana a better place to live and be employed. Thank you so much.
Thank you for giving us this platform to share the good news.
Indeed. Again, before you got to go, give people the website and how they can connect.
Absolutely. You can go to our website at cltcc.edu and look across the banner and look for Reboot Your Career. And it will take you directly to the link to register and share your information.
There you go. It's never been easier to do it. Our guest this morning, Misty Slayter, she is the Vice Chancellor of Workforce at CLTCC. Stay on point. We're back after this.